Stephen, and today I'm going to be talking to you about autism, and specifically autism in my brother, Peter. But before I start, I need everyone to do something for me. I need you all to sit up. Everyone sit up in your chairs. I need everyone to stop fidgeting. Stop fidgeting. Don't play with your hands. Have your feet, and everyone will look me in the eyes. Now, for some of us, those tasks are extremely easy. I mean, what is that? Sitting up, stop fidgeting. Those things, they're easy. But for a very specific group of people, that is a very hard task, fiendishly difficult almost. Something that takes not only a lot of willpower, but is almost terrifying. So, autism is something that is not easily defined. There's a reason that we say that people are on the spectrum, and that is because it is almost what it's like. Think of the visible light spectrum. You go from red, you go through all the colors down to purple. It's almost like that. There are so many signs of autism. The symptoms range all sorts of colors, like you can see, so to speak. Now, my brother, Peter, was born February 28, 1996. He's 20. He's my older brother. He's 4 years older than me, and he's one of the smartest people that I've ever met. He's also one of the most passionate, one of the most kind people I've ever met. And he really cares about what he does. Now, when my brother was born, there was nothing wrong with him, or at least it didn't seem like there was anything wrong with him. He had a favorite color, orange. He had favorite toys. He had a favorite animal. He acted like a normal baby. He looked like a normal baby. And it wasn't really until first grade that my parents noticed anything different about Peter. And see, this is the crutch, I guess, of autism, is that people assume that people with autism are inherently different in some way. And to some extent they are. But then again, there's no real way to tell unless you meet someone and you experience what being around them is like. Now, my parents noticed something about my brother, which is that it wasn't one thing that just set them off and said he has autism. It was a range of things. For example, in first grade, he would hide in the closet at recess instead of hanging out with his friends, instead of playing with his friends. He had extremely selective taste in food. He ate mac and cheese, just mac and cheese, for almost the first 10 years of his life. He had a lot of trouble making eye contact. Remember how I said looking in the eyes? That would have been something very difficult for him. He also had a lot of mood swings. He would go from being happy to depressed, to happy again, to angry, back to happy to sad, on a daily basis, just like this, quickly, over and over again. And above all, I think my parents noted that he had almost no friends. He had a lot of trouble making friends. He couldn't talk to people. He wasn't the same. He was different. Now, the type of autism that my brother has is one called Asperger syndrome, where the symptoms of which vary wildly, like I said before, and they mostly it has to do with social awkwardness, which I'm sure that everyone has dealt with before, but to almost a larger level, a more extreme level, where Peter had trouble, and people with Asperger's syndrome have trouble making eye contact. They have trouble understanding common facial expressions, and they don't understand jokes. Sarcasm flies right over their head. They don't understand tone of voice. Things that you and I would think would be relatively easy to understand. You look at someone, you see them, they look at you a certain way, and you think, oh, they're angry, or oh, they're sad. For Peter, other people with Asperger's, not so much. It's a little harder. Now, another thing that identifies someone who has Asperger's syndrome is they have very specific behaviors. For example, they might fidget a lot. How I told you to stop fidgeting. Someone with Asperger's would find that very difficult to do, as it's almost something they need. For example, my brother, he will hum, and he will just keep on humming. It's tuneless. There's no point. It's not like he heard a song and he's humming it and thinks it's a nice song. He just hums because he needs it. And, I'll be trying to fall asleep. He and I rooms next to each other. I'll be trying to fall asleep at, 11:30 or whatever, and I'll just hear him humming, And it's something you learn to live with. But, and I can ask him to stop, but he might stop for a while, but there's no real way for him to stop. It's something, like I said, he needs it. It's like a crutch. So my point is, you take all these things that make kids, normal, making eye contact, making friends, doing, what is told to you, and you put them in this kid who isn't built the same way. It can lead to a lot of things in life. For example, in middle school, my brother had a particularly difficult time. This quote here, "I'm sorry, I'm a bad person," was something that he said quite often back in middle school. He was so frustrated with his life. He didn't understand why life was different for him. Why was he different? Why were things so hard for him to understand? "I'm sorry, I'm a bad person." Can you imagine that? 10-year-old apologizing for being a bad person. Well, this is all in the past. Now, my brother is a much, I don't want to say better, because better is not the right word to use here. He's changed quite a bit. But it has been a long and difficult process for both my siblings. I have a sister as well. My siblings and I, including Peter and my parents. It took a lot of hard work on the part of my parents, a lot of years of counseling, changing medication, finding new treatments, ways of dealing with Peter's issues, to really come to a point where he is now, where he can enjoy life the way he's meant to. And these problems are still evident, they're still prevalent in him. He's not a different person because of the counseling, because of the meds. He's just a changed person. And that's something that's important to recognize, is that autism is not something you can fix. It's not something that you can give. You can't give a kid a drug and say, "Take this and you'll feel better." It's something that you can say, "We'll work together and hopefully, maybe, we can treat you in a way that can help you live the life that you want to live." Now, my brother is enrolled in the Rochester Institute of Technology. He has friends both in real life and online. And he's an amazing person. This is my brother, that's Peter. On the right, the middle picture and the right picture, well, I guess it's your right, my left. Some of his artwork that he's done. The one on your left, that's him. He's a nice guy, I mean, look at his smile. And yes, like I said, he has friends online, in real life, and he's so passionate about what he does. He writes stories and songs. He makes songs, and he's the type of guy who picks up trash on the street just because he wants to see the world be a cleaner place. And he has such an understanding of what he wants out of life. That is incredible to see how far he's come from when he was that 10-year-old apologizing for thinking he was a bad person. Autism is not something that can be cured. And that's very important to recognize. It's not something that you can get rid of in a person. But just because these people are different doesn't mean they're bad. Different does not mean bad. Different means different. And just because someone's different doesn't mean we should treat them we shouldn't treat them differently. They deserve the same respect and the same treatment as the rest of us. Something that I've witnessed is people making fun of kids with autism and saying that these kids are, stupid, dumb. It's not the case at all. I know that firsthand. I've seen that firsthand. And I want to leave you with this. These kids think the world is made for them. They grow up, everything's different. Think about how you grew up. Think about how you had friends, or maybe you didn't. Think about how your life has been up to this point. And think about how you can make it a better place for these kids who don't think the world is built for them. Maybe we can convince them or help them think that they do have a significant place in this world. Thank you.